Hello there, everyone. I'm assuming I'm live already. We never know with these things until we see things on here. Sometimes, just so everybody knows, I quite often have people who will ask me, oh, you went live. Why didn't you tell everybody? Sometimes the impulse just hits me. Like I've got something on my mind right now, and I just kind of want to come in and say it. And I recognize some of you might not catch it live, and that's okay. But I just, want to say it anyway, because you know what? It has to be said. Okay. And it's about eclipses and the hype that happens around eclipses. And okay, let's go into that for a moment. Are eclipses big things? Yes, they are. They are big things. They happen, but they happen twice a year, right? We have two different sets of eclipses, over the course of the year. There will always be a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse within 2 weeks of each other. Sometimes we get 3 eclipses within a short period of time, but they're not, number one, they're not some rare occurrence that very seldom happens. They don't mark the end of the world, right? And to be quite honest, they happen all the time. And what they are is they're like little quote unquote cosmic reset points in the course of your astrological year. Now, because of this particular eclipse, and lunar eclipses always happen on a full moon, solar eclipses happen on a new moon. With this full moon lunar eclipse taking place with the moon in Taurus and the sun in Scorpio, then a lot of people are hyping it up online. Okay. So, sure, yes, it may trigger some points that bring tension onto the planet. It may trigger some points that bring tension into your life. Other people's lives may just seem like very little is happening, believe it or not. And that is something that actually does tend to happen with eclipses. Eclipses are more powerful when they're hitting particular points within a person's horoscope. But there's a lot of people hyping up this particular lunar eclipse going, this is going to be so powerful and life-changing. To be quite honest, let's go into that. Every single moment of your life can be life-changing if you want it to be life-changing. That's not diminishing the importance of eclipses. That's actually saying, hey, you know what? Maybe things being life-changing are a good thing. Maybe it doesn't have to be scary, right? And that's something that tends to happen a lot around eclipse time is fear mongering. This is going to be a powerful eclipse. And so people tend to watch that or hear it and they get really scared. And people then begin to go, eclipses are something to fear, right? Just like they go Mercury retrograde is something to fear, which isn't really anything to fear either. As a matter of fact, astrological alignments are always there to serve our evolution. That can only be good. It's not bad. That's another thing too. This is something we quite often hear in the astrological community. Is this alignment good or is it bad? Right? There's no such thing as bad. It's always good. It's always for your evolution. Maybe there's challenging and easy, right? But how many good things have you gotten out of challenges in your life? And how many difficult things have come your way from sitting on your backside, right? Truth. Sorry, I just have to say it. It's truth. So, there's no good or bad when it comes to it. Everything is always good and it's always for your evolution. With this coming lunar eclipse taking place in Ashwini Nakshatra, here's the scoop on this energy. Understand it this way. And this is why I'm coming on, because this is something that can serve you going into it. If at the present moment, you're focusing on your pain, right? Let's pause for a moment for everybody who's in pain, first of all. Let's send some love and let's send some healing to that, right? And when you're feeling your pain, That's what you feel. It's real. It's very real. In the midst of our pain, though, we still have decisions that we have to make. We have things that we have to decide if we're going to align with or not. Okay? And for that type of energy, if you're aligning more with your nervousness, more with your anxiety, if you're making decisions going, I've been hurt, so I'm going to do this, you may find yourself in a position where you're not making the best decisions for yourself. If you instead go, this feels right to me, this seems correct, this is who I am, that's not who I am. If you're making decisions from that perspective, then you're going to make the most positive decisions in the world. Ashwini Nakshatra is a very swift-moving energy. It's considered a light and swift nakshatra. But when it's confused, when it doesn't know about which direction it should go in, it can very easily get nervous and make split-second decisions that aren't really founded on a good scope of reality, that's not really founded on clear input from the senses. At the time of this particular lunar eclipse, we have several planets in Swati Nakshatra. Swati can be very driven, it can be very purpose-oriented, but it can also be very restless. And sometimes an individual can be spurred to a decision-making process that is perhaps too quick. That quickness or that swiftness is coming more from the Ashwini side of things with this particular eclipse than it is from the Swati side. The Swati side goes, I know something needs to be done. I know a difference can be made. I know that I can take steps in a direction that will make things go smoothly. The Ashwini side goes, yeah, I know all of those things, but gee, I don't really know what to do next. I only know that change needs to happen. So, if you're making your decisions purely from your pain points at this particular time, then you're not going to be making more than likely the best decisions for yourself. Now, I'm not suggesting you just ignore fear. I'm not suggesting you ignore anything. I'm not a believer in either spiritual bypassing or emotional bypassing. If something's there, it's there for a reason. Be aware of it, but also be aware of who you are in the midst of all that turbulence. Never forget that. Trust yourself. Go deeply into that. Trust that you can make your way through any difficult circumstance. Eclipses are not something to fear. Change is not something to fear. Change is something that happens all around you every single day of your life, whether you like it or not. So you might as well align with it. Go with the flow and try to make the best decisions for yourself that you can. In short, don't fear the eclipse. Don't fear the lunar eclipse. Be aware of what it's stirring inside of you. Listen. If it makes you feel uneasy, tune into that uneasiness. But pay attention. Go deeply into it. Don't be afraid of it. This is a process like any other. If you could use a little bit of help with this process or any other process that's going on in your life, my Empower Hour consultations are a great way to get started. There will be a link down in the video description area below if you want to give a visit to that particular page and schedule in a consultation with me. Thanks a lot for watching this brief video today. I just thought I'd come on live. Live videos are a great way for me to spontaneously say something. I don't always, as I mentioned before, put out that I'm going to go live. I sometimes just sit down, turn things on, boom, go live, because sometimes for me, that's the best way to do. Hope you appreciate it. Talk to you soon. And as always, please do take the very best care of yourself.